If you are an investor or a trader, I don't need to tell you that today was a bad day. Indian markets witnessed a bloodbath today. India's leading stock market index, the Sensex, was down by over 1,000 points. The Nifty, which represents the top 50 companies of India, fell by over 300 points. The global economy is vulnerable, and the resilience of the rupee also is being tested. The rupee fell to a record low against the dollar today. It breached the 81 mark. Earlier today, $1 was worth 81.23 rupees. Thankfully, by the end of the day, we saw some recovery. The Indian currency closed just above the 81 mark. In recent weeks, the Indian Reserve Bank has stepped in. It has tried to defend the rupee. By selling dollars from its reserve, the RBI has deployed more than $80 billion so far this year. In September alone, the RBI sold $10 billion from its reserves. We can expect the RBI to make more such interventions in the future because of the hawkish sentiments within the global markets. But where is all this going? In recent months, the fears of a global recession have grown. We have been telling you about this. But is a recession certain? Is the worst now behind us? Or should we brace for more difficult times ahead? On Gravitas tonight, we will bring you an assessment of the global economy. Let's start off with the question that is on everyone's mind. Will there be a recession? The answer is this. Yes, there is a heightened likelihood of a global recession in the near future. Increasingly, global institutions and leading experts are issuing warnings. Last week, we told you what the World Bank has said. In its latest assessment, it said there is now a real risk of a recession, a real risk. And now another expert has spoken out. Economist Nouriel Roubini. He was one of the first experts who correctly predicted the 2008 financial crisis. He is now predicting another recession in 2023, and it will not be pretty. Here is what he said, I'm quoting, "It's not going to be a short and shallow recession. It's going to be severe, long, and ugly." A recession that will be severe, long and ugly. Dr. Rubini made that prediction for the United States. He believes that the US will enter a recession by the end of this year. And we all know by now, when America sneezes, the world catches a cold. Dr. Rubini believes that as well. He says once the recession in America begins, it will spread to the rest of the world. The downturn could last all through 2023. Central bankers seem to agree with that assessment. Recently, the US Federal Reserve announced a rate hike. The signs of distress are showing. America's economic growth this year is now pegged at 0.2%. That is significantly less than the earlier estimate. The US was hoping to grow at 1.7% just a few months back. Unemployment numbers are not looking good either. The US Fed expects joblessness to grow. Unemployment rate in the US will rise to 3.8% this year and 4.4% next year. These numbers come after a blunt warning from the Federal Reserve. Last month, the Federal Reserve chairperson had said households will feel the pain.
While higher interest rates, slower growth, and softer labor market conditions will bring down inflation, they will also bring some pain to households and businesses. These are the unfortunate costs of reducing inflation. But a failure to restore price stability would mean far greater pain.
The question now is, how much more pain will Americans have to bear? When times are tough, there are no easy choices. Other major economies are realizing this as well. Europe and China, two major engines of growth, they are struggling as well. Let's tell you about Europe first. A recession seems certain there. There is a major shortage of energy that has pushed up the prices, and in turn, inflation has spiked. In August, inflation in Europe stood at well over a whopping 9%. There are supply disruptions. Unemployment has remained well above 6%. So all the warning signs are flashing red. The situation in China could be worse. Youth unemployment is close to 20%. GDP growth has fallen below 1%. Yes, some of the economic pain in China is self-inflicted. The zero COVID policies and repeated shutdowns have hit the Chinese economy hard. But remember, China is also the largest exporter of goods. So when global demand for goods goes down, production in China will also stumble. And it is happening already. Growth in exports has dropped from 18% in July to 7% in August. Where does this leave India? Yes, there are challenges, but so far the Indian economy has been insulated from the worst effects of the global slowdown. But countering the threat of a recession is not a one-time thing. It is an ongoing process. As the popular saying goes, hope for the best and prepare for the worst. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.